Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. I'm at Coverings in Orlando, and I'm with Donato Grosser with D. Grosser and Associates. Donato, how you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing very well, and I'm happy to see you.
You know, we do this every year, and I always enjoy it. You are a business analyst for the ceramic tile industry, and you also are an advisor to Italian ceramic tile industry. And you're giving a presentation this afternoon. I'd love to get a little sneak preview on this. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to talk about this afternoon.
Well, I tell you what, talking about trying to speculate on what may happen in the ceramic tile market this year. And there are several factors that are very important. First of all, the economy in general, that is not growing at a pace that everybody hoped and expected. The housing market, who last year did very poorly, and yes, it expanded, but basically remained flat. So the ceramic tile business last year was basically flat. So we hope that this year is going to be a resurgence and housing is going to be better. And with it, the ceramic tile market. If housing is going to grow well by over 10%, we may have an over 10% growth in the ceramic tile consumption this year. And that's the first important factor, the economy and the housing. Second factor is effect of the rate of exchange. As people who follow the news, if they know that the value of the euro went down precipitously in the first few months of this year, and from $1.40 to a euro to $1.05 to a euro. So this is making much more convenient to import ceramic tiles from Europe, from countries like Italy, for example, that have the top of the market of the tiles. And with a decline in prices of 20-30%, becomes very convenient here for the retailer to sell or for distributors to import or for the consumer to buy. So this may change the composition of the market. And then a third factor is that there are several factories, a new factory coming in, being announced by Atlas Concord, an Italian company. And there are other 3 U.S. manufacturers who are increasing capacity. So we have an increase in capacity, and we have to hope that the market grows parallel to the increase in capacity, or that some company otherwise will find themselves with excessive capacity.
You know, I sat into a meeting at the very beginning of the show and got some statistics that I thought was interesting I'd like to throw in here. The Italians are still the leader from a dollar perspective as far as imports. Imports are down overall as far as the consumption of tile in 14 versus 13, I think around 68%, and it's been a lot higher than that. But the Italians are still the leaders from a dollar perspective. And this rate of exchange you talk about could be tremendous for the amount of units that you bring in, because when the dollar is strong and the euro is weak, that makes the Italian product more attractive, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That's one of the main factors that may affect the market this year. And we already made several interviews with substantial importers in the United States. And they all said that they expect their sales to increase between 10 and 20% this year.
And, you know, most people know that the Italian tile is usually the front runner as far as the look, the developments. So people buy Italian tile because they can get tile from Italy that is different than what you find here just in domestic suppliers, right?
Yeah, and one of the things is that the developments, technological developments and the design developments in Italy have been so quick and so fast that most people do not know what is coming out from Italy. So many years ago, I used to do seminars all over the country explaining to designers and architects what is a ceramic tile. And now we find ourselves that we had to go and explain again that because ceramic tile of today are not the ceramic tile of yesterday, are totally new, larger, thinner, different colors, different technology, different manufacturing systems. And we had to go and explain again the product.
You know, most people that don't live in this business might not know that the equipment that's used to manufacture tile is manufactured in Italy as well, right?
Yeah, Italy is the largest country in manufacturing equipment. And the reason is that the ceramic tile industry in Italy is concentrated, 90% of it, in a small province in the region of Emilia-Romagna, around Bologna, Sassuolo, and Modena, these places. So once you have everybody manufacturing there, because originally the clay was there. All the suppliers came there. So everything, the first equipment is always tested and used in Italy because that's where the place where everybody is and when you can get the best technology.
Let me ask you, is Tennessee the Sassuolo of the USA?
Well, now you see, Tennessee now has become very important because it's a place where they have the raw materials, and raw materials are very close. You see, in a business like this, if you're not close to raw materials, you don't want to be in a place where you have to transport the raw materials from 1,000 miles away and spend more for the raw materials and for the manufacturing.
Now, you mentioned a minute ago that Atlas Concord is building a plant in Tennessee. It's just been announced. As we all know, Deltile is finishing a plant in Nashville. There's even news that there might be some Chinese companies that are considering coming to Tennessee. When we focus on Atlas Concord, it is the last big Italian group that hasn't yet moved here. So that was almost expected, wasn't it?
I do not know. I'm not an insider in the decision of the company. But it made sense for a company. Once a company is present in the United States market in selling ceramic tile or any other product and get to an amount of sales in the millions, in a tenth of millions, it really pays to open a factory here because you can justify the investment and you're local and distribution becomes much simpler. You get better image by being here.
You mentioned Sassuolo again. Let me go back to that a minute. That is kind of the center for where looks are developed, where technology is developed. Are you aware of any new trends that might be coming out of Sassuolo that we'll see at this show?
Well, I'm not aware of any particular trends because if anything is in the boiling pot right now, they don't tell me. But when they come with a new product, everybody finds out. But I'm sure, I can tell you for sure, there are several new things being concocted and prepared there in Sassuolo now, right now.
All right, Donato, it's great to be with you. Again, been talking to Donato Grosser with B. Grosser & Associates, and you've been listening to Kempar and FloorDaily.net.